Good day everyone, Garage King here, and if you want to put Apple Play in your old car so you don't have to spend big bucks and buy a new car, well, I found a way to do it, and I found this Apple Play for literally like $100. Super easy install, let's go. All right, so let's take a look in the box. So here is the Seicane. All right, sounds good. It looks really nice. Apple CarPlay, all sounds nice in the beginning. And for you Android users, it does apparently work for Android. So let's take it out of the box and just give a little initial inspection and see what we find. Okay, so first thing here, we have a very nice display. We have a camera here, so when you're driving around, you can adjust it, and that would be the front camera in your car. The display is about 10 inches or just over 10 inches. I think it's about 10 1/4. Resolution is 1600 by 600. Let's see what else we have in the box. So in addition to the actual unit, I'll just put the unit over there for a second. Let's see what we have in the box. Maybe I'll just take this out, probably gonna be easier. So we have an aux cable. Everybody knows what those are. Simple aux cable. A bunch of other stuff. Let's just see. Here we have, all right, some mounting hardware, some screws for this, and this would be the rear camera. What else do we have here? Here we have, I guess to hardwire it in, a power cord. All right, so we got USB-C, we got, I guess, an aux there, and we got a regular USB. Or we have, yes, here's the ends, and if you look, the ends, so they are the same. So you have your choice between plugging it in to 12 volts, or you can hardwire it right in there. There's some mini fuse connectors, and this would be a ground. We're gonna take a closer look at the manual. Let's install it. Now, one thing I did notice when I pushed the button here, it's got, I guess, a battery in it. We can turn it back on. I did not know that. Let's take a look. So here we have our recorder, and there's the camera. So that's pretty neat. It's actually got a fairly good resolution camera. I like that. And 4K, as you can see there. Maybe I'll zoom in. There's our brightness. So we can adjust our brightness very, very easily. FM, I suppose, right there. And we can control if we want audio out for our speakers, or FM, or the aux should be able to touch it. There you go, or Bluetooth. Wow, this is actually quite easy to use. So on an 8th generation Honda Civic, we want to see exactly where this is going to fit. So will it fit there? Well, you can see part of me there. I don't know, that actually doesn't look too bad, believe it or not. That looks pretty good. And if you look here, it's nice and flat right there. I mean, we could actually bolt it in, but we definitely don't want to damage our dashboard. So we can leave it just like this. So yeah, you know, I think that looks really good, and I think that's going to be the place for it. As I mentioned earlier in the unboxing, you basically have two major cables. Let's get this one out of the way. Don't want to have any confusion here. So you have two major cables. So this one is the USB-C, and that's going to supply power to our unit, okay? And these two cables, one of them, okay, is going to be our audio going to our stereo. So you have to have an aux out jack. And this one here is actually to charge your phone. It's a USB, and it has power to charge your phone. So that's good. And it can be hardwired right in. So if we look here under, I may hardwire it in later on into the fuse box right there. But for now, for the purposes of my testing, and maybe I'll do a follow-up one later. Let me know what you think. Let's dig through the box. We have the exact same one here. There you can see same connections, USB-C, auxiliary, and the regular USB. The only difference is it goes to just the power cord, the regular power cord, which in the case of this Honda Civic, it's right there. For right now, let's just plug it in here and see, you know, what we can get out of it. I want to show the resolution on the camera, and it will plug in right here. All right, so you can see I have it plugged in there for power. Here's my USB. Here we go. Here's my USB-C. All right, so we have the power plugged in, just like so. I'll turn the key and let's see if we get it starting up. And there you go. You can see it started up on its own. So that is most excellent. All right, so how easy is it to pair and hook up to the Bluetooth? You know what, it is very easy. So here's the number you can see here. This comes up, it's a generic number. I personally didn't like it because
you know, I get confused with all the things that are hooked up with my phone. So what I did is I just renamed it to Apple Play because that's what I have. And it was really easy to do, and this way it's easy to find on my phone and make sure that everything is working. And there you go. You can see it just says Apple Play. It is that easy. So that's what I really liked. It was easy to pair. Now for the rear camera installation, your car might be different than my car, but you know what? All cars have 4 wheels and they are very similar. You just have to find a place to mount it and use a grommet because you don't want to drill through and have sharp steel cutting that cord. There's a resolution on the rear camera. I'm just sort of playing with it on the interior. You can see it actually, you know, it's got a fairly good resolution. I was happy with it. So let me show you my install really quickly. There's the grommet. You can see the cable is right there. And then I just ran it through the trunk here. I used a couple clips here because I don't want the wires pinching on anything. I taped it there and made sure that it would just go right behind that, I don't know, mat, if you want to call it that, insulation. And then if I open the door here, take a look. You can't even see it. I ran it through the back seat, down through under here. And if we swing around to the bottom of the seat, you can see there's where it actually pops out through the mat and then out through the front. Now, if you need a good trim tool, this is what I use, and I use it especially for the grommet. I'll leave the link below. I do use it all the time, but just beware, it is really sharp. So if you accidentally forget it in your back pocket, well, you can just cause a little bit of damage when you sit down. So let's say you were warned and leave it at that. Here's the rear connections at the back. You can see very easy to plug in, and here is the Apple Play turned on. So you can see the resolution and you can see how it looks. And if you've noticed throughout the video, those couple little bubbles on the left side of the screen, you know what? That is just the screen protector it comes with. I just haven't pulled it off yet. Now, here is the wires. Now, obviously, I need to fix these up. I was thinking if I should drill a tiny little hole in the back here, right here, and just sort of run them through. It's not that hard to pull this stereo out. I can do that. But I'm just not sure yet. And you can see here, it is stuck down very good. Very solid here. This is the final resting place for the unit. Also wanted to mention that Siri worked just fine. So I guess next thing is, you know, how does it work in action? Let's take this thing for a test drive and let's see how it performs on the road. So first things first, I was able to use the maps flawlessly, and you know what? I didn't get lost on the test drive, and I was able to get directions. So that worked really well. I was also able to play music. And you're all probably wondering, what about resolution? Well, there's the front camera, you can see. There is the rear camera, quite clear. I was quite happy with it, didn't have any issues with it. You can even do a split screen. I'll show you right there. There you go. You can see there is our split screen. And pushing the record button gave me this warning that reminded me I do not have a memory card in there. So if you want to actually record the footage, you just need to put a memory card in there. Now, I know the test drive had some glare, so you know what? I'm doing my best. So I went outside at night and I want to show you a better image of the screen. So this is real time. I'm not speeding up the footage, and I want to show you how fast it merges with your phone and how fast it'll actually start up. There you go. You can see you get this screen, and then what happens is it'll just automatically come up. You can see there's the music I was playing from my YouTube library, just so I don't get copyrighted. And then I can actually go through the different menus on the Apple Play. So I want to show you some of the stuff here. So there's our Apple Play menu. Now, if you look at the corner of the screen, you can see there is a little home button. All you do is you hit this home button, and that takes you to the main screen. So we can hit our recorder here. Now, it is nighttime, so we're really not going to see much. There you can see there's the cameras front and rear. You can see a little bit on the front just because I have the headlights on right now, but we're not going to see much. Let's go back home, and if you hit the FM button here at the bottom, you can see there's your speaker, FM or Bluetooth, however you want to do it, or your aux cord. And if you hit the screencast or mobile internet, it'll go right back to Apple Play. So it's very easy to switch back and forth to whichever you want. That's one thing I found about this was the settings are just really, really easy to do. There you go. You can see I'm going right back. I'm going to hit settings right there, and there's all the settings there. There's your CarPlay position. I can go into here. We want full screen, obviously, when we're doing our Apple Play. There's even a screensaver. And if you look right here, here's your setting guidance for the rear camera. The clock is very easy to set, and you know what? Don't take this for granted, because the worst thing that can happen is you buy a device where you can't set the clock. So this made me very happy that the clock was very, very easy to set. So what was my final takeaway? I really like this product. You know what? for literally $100, that's like 2 tanks of gas on this Honda Civic. And if you have a truck or something bigger, it's probably only 1 tank of gas. To get this much for so little, I think it's a bargain. I don't think there's anything else right now that's really on the market that can compete with it. So I give it 2 thumbs up. I'm super happy with this and glad I got it. Anyway, that's it for now. Any questions, comments, anything like that, leave them below. That's it for now. Garage King over and out, and I'll see you next week.